So obviously everybody knows Halloween, and we have Sandy Johnson, we have Nancy Stevens here. So I'm gonna ask them some questions, then we're gonna go to the audience and get some questions from everybody else. So when this started, obviously John Carpenter, when he got into this, young director, had this idea of making this teen slasher, babysitter killer, and how did you guys get involved in this? Like Nancy, how did you find out about this movie?
I had an agent, like most people who do much work, and I fit a certain category in age and type, and so I went and I auditioned with John and Deborah Hill, and may nobody here forget Deborah Hill, who was a producer.
Absolutely.
Who broke so many glass ceilings, and we lost her way too early, and she was. We were very much aligned on the environment, and a group of us in Hollywood formed something called the Earth Communications Office, and we greened the Clinton White House together, and we got the industry to look at the waste in catering, tried to get them not to use plastic and reusable wood and things like that. So something is, am I only hearing the buzz? Anyway, I auditioned for it, and people say, well, it was a John Carpenter film. John Carpenter was nobody at that point. What I was excited about was that I knew John, they had already cast Donald Pleasence, and I knew this character would be involved with Donald Pleasence, and to me, that was the excitement.
So you've been in 4 different Halloween movies now, and what was the first conversation about H2O? When did that come into play with them? That was Steve Miner that did that. Steve Miner directed Halloween H2O.
No,
yeah.
I thought you were talking about Halloween 2.
No, not Halloween 2. Rick Rosenthal was Halloween 2.
Yes.
Yes.
Someone I know very well.
Yes. Yes, you do.
We are grandparents to 3 children.
Yes, you are. Yep.
And 3 adult children. And no, our grandchildren have not seen any of the Halloween movies. But it's an interesting story about Halloween too, because John, there were a few of us from the first Halloween written into the second one, and John was going to direct it, and I'm not sure of the reason why he decided not to. But my husband was just graduating from the American Film Institute, and his thesis film was a very noir, suspenseful film, and he was signed by John's agent. So when John dropped out, my husband's agent said, I have a young man who can direct this film. So a lot of people, here's the romantic spoiler, no, we did not meet on Halloween 2. We knew each other before that, been living together before that. So, and Halloween H2O, I had been out of the franchise for a long time, so it was just fun to think about going back. And I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt as a young actor, and it's like, well, this'll be fun. Sure, we'll do this. So it was the next one that I had to tell the director, I'm not sure why you're calling me, because I'm dead. You killed me.
That's a different timeline. So it's
Yes.
like they like to use that as a Disney Avengers kind of thing, where it's a different
exactly.
multiverse.
Yeah. No, that's what Joseph Gordon-Levitt said. He said, Nancy, it's willing suspension of disbelief, never mind. So it was great to do that with him.
So like Sandy, you have obviously have that iconic scene that everybody knows very well. So how did you get yourself involved with this project?
Well, it really started with my Playboy centerfold. I was with the Playboy agency, so they contacted the Playboy agency and they wanted to see some girls. It would be okay if they were naked. So I said okay. So I guess they interviewed several women from the Playboy agency, and again with John Carpenter and Deborah Hill. And I think like the next day I got a call from my agent and said, yeah, they want you for Judith Myers. And I said, awesome, cool. So that's kind of how it started.
And that obviously led you to do several more movies after that, which a lot, myself, I know Gas Pump Girls extremely well, growing up. So was that's what got you started moving forward with more movies, correct?
Right. I'm thinking that jokes my folks never told me, I'm thinking that might have been the first one. I think Halloween was second, and then maybe Gas Pump Girls, and then Hots. Yeah, but they were all fun. I had a blast on all of them. Hey, welcome aboard, buddy.
Will's here, everybody.
How's it going?
Welcome, Will.
Thank you.
So, bringing you back to how everybody got involved in the project. Obviously, Will, you were very young when you were filming this. Now, take us back to when they filmed that scene at the end where they're cutting away, which was like a new approach to filming at that point. So how was that for you? Was that like kind of like different?
Well, at the time, it was a lot of fun, and I was just happy that I got an acting role on that. So it was basically a role I got, and I was stoked that I was doing it. I didn't realize how much it was, like, as far as a horror movie, until I was actually on the set and I was looking at the pictures and stills of The Shape, the older Michael Myers, and then I looked and then I see, okay, well, this really is a horror movie, and to what extent I still didn't know, because I didn't read the script or anything. And then once basically all day I'm in school, so I have to finish 3.5 hours worth of schoolwork, get the curriculum done and all that, have the tutor sign off on it before I can even hang out on the set for the remainder of the shoot. And so once I got done, I'm hanging on the shoot, looking at the pictures, stuff like that. And then once I got into wardrobe, makeup, wardrobe, costume, everything, put the costume on, and then they handed me the knife with the fake blood and everything. Then I knew that, okay, this is, okay, a bunch of people are getting killed in this kind of movie. This isn't just some, monster movie, Dracula, Frankenstein, whatever. This is, this thing is hardcore. And so I filmed my scene. John Carpenter basically just told me to have he didn't tell me to make a scary face or anything, just a blank look. Just look, don't even look at the camera, look straight ahead. And so, it was hard to even do that because when we were doing the takes, we did about 10 of them. It was one of those plastic masks, so with the rubber band around it. Well, as a kid, my hair's a lot longer. I don't have the short hair like I do now, so I had the long hair. So every take, it's pulling some hair out. So yeah, it's hard not to flinch because it did hurt. But he wanted me to have a blank look, and but yes, it was a different style of horror at this time. It went away from the traditional vampires, werewolves, stuff like that, and then not too long after that it was into the supernatural with the Omen, the Omen, Exorcist. It goes in now. It was the start of the slasher films. Just kind of like a regular person that just went crazy going out, on a on a killing spree.
So at what point did all of you, this is aimed at all of you, what point did you guys realize that you were involved with something larger than life? Because this movie became iconic and it instantly took off too. And at one point, did you guys get to see this in the theater as well afterwards? Or did you not participate in that?
Yeah, we saw it in the theater. Yeah, originally.
Yeah, I saw it in the premiere when we all got to see it. And as a kid, even though I wasn't scared making it, but when I saw the movie and everything, then I was like, wow, this thing is really scary. I mean, this is a lot scarier than the old monster movies that I always watched. Now, as far as thinking, like, knowing that it was going to be big, I mean, no one could have predicted it was going to be like this, but you could see the growth of it, because I mean, it helped that the movie was called Halloween, so the movie came out every Halloween, and all my friends, everybody I grew up with saw the movie, and they would talk about it. And what was nice and kind of different was that the parents talked about it, and they would they've all seen it, and they really enjoyed it. And then just over time, seeing the movie just kind of grow and grow, because it came out on every Halloween. And I think when the sequel came out, Halloween 2, that's when it's a big hit, because once a sequel happens, that's
And back
right
then,
there.
with movies being in theaters, if they were in theater, they were in the theater for a long time, as opposed to where today you get like a certain window and then that's it. But the longevity of this movie was unreal. It was
But
like Jaws.
There was an element of tremendous curiosity because of Jamie Lee.
Yeah.
I mean, she was the daughter of two very, very famous, well-loved actors, and that gave John and the movie a cachet of curiosity with the audience, and also with producers and people in Hollywood who were, banking movies. So that had a big element in the film being initially seen by the broader Hollywood and then it's a really good movie, and a different kind of, as you said, a different type of horror movie. So, and Halloween 2 was really amazingly close to Halloween. I mean, John had Halloween 2 in mind with the first one. So, I mean, some of us had a sense that it was going to happen. Now, Halloween H2O was something completely different, but and nobody had an idea, but there was the element of Jamie Lee, which in Los Angeles at that time was a big deal.
So do you guys have any like funny stories that were on set at all? Anything amusing that had happened before filming your scenes, or were there multiple takes for any of your scenes?
Whenever I had the blood all over me, whoever was trying to clean me up was kind of rough, and so Jamie Lee said that she would help me. And so she was actually the one that cleaned me up both times, because whoever was doing it was really rough. And so I remember that I was really grateful for that. It's kind of a tender area.
That sounds like Jamie Lee, though.
Yeah. And I did want to tell you on the other question before that, as far as when you knew. I mean, most people knew long before I did, but right after that, I lost both my parents. And I moved from Hollywood back to Texas, and I went to school and became a teacher and got my PhD and all that stuff. So I left Halloween and all of that behind, because it was kind of associated with great loss. So I really never thought about Halloween again. So I hadn't followed. I had no idea that it was a famous movie until in 2018, I was sitting on my couch playing Words with Friends with my best friend, totally oblivious of this Halloween world. And Rick Enrique, my agent now, he interrupts my game and he says, "Are you Sandy Johnson from Halloween?" And it was just this random question, you know, just like, and I said, "Yes, and who is this?" And so that's when he said, you know, I'm an agent for signing and all this stuff. I'd never heard of horror conventions. This was all like an overnight epiphany for me. So I didn't know until 2018 that Halloween was a big deal, that I had fans around the world, and I'm thinking this guy is like a creeper in the night, right? I'm thinking, you know, I'm just thinking this is some crazy guy that like got my number or something. And so I said, how about if I talk to you tomorrow? And so then I went online. I had never Googled my name. I Googled my name and went, oh my God. So I know a lot of fans said, oh, that can't be true that you didn't know. It is the absolute truth. I didn't have a clue. I just thought he was like some stalker weird guy. Yeah. So now he's my agent. Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna open up some questions to Nancy, Sandy, and Will. So if there's anybody out there who wants to ask any questions,